Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about Pallas in Gemini and a natal chart. And anyway, first thing up is as far as a Pallas in Gemini natal chart goes, well, one may solve their dilemmas with a lot of mental quickness, mental agility, a lot of communication, extensive communication perhaps, or using very strong communication ability, their verbosity, their way with words. It could be by multitasking. It could be sometimes doing everything but being in two places simultaneously. Uh, Such as working on a vehicle using a Gemini like dexterity and being on a phone with somebody and pacifying two things, basically issues at once, and in some cases using issues may be solved with a lot of versatility as well. I mean, this could be like somebody that could be on some video call with one person and have another person right by them, and communicating with that person almost simultaneously. So anyway, now as people with Pallas in Gemini, their perceived connection with their dad may be somewhat superficial and might be certain a whimsical energy, but it certainly may be one where they wouldn't see it as monotonous or boring. It may be filled with a lot of variety and activity. And also one that has a lot of communication and mental stimulation as well. It could be one where perhaps this person played or plays a lot of games that require a mental agility with the dad, such as haiku or any kind of or maybe playing like just mental solving puzzles, or like out of a puzzle book, such as like Sudoku, or playing in cryptograms, anything that requires certain mental agility. This person may have found enjoyment with their father. Uh, and now the thing is, now as far as Pallas goes in astrology, it can be about disputes. Now it can be one where one may solve their disputes with a lot of quick thinking, and um, and also when we're talking about Pallas in astrology, it can be about the concepts that we put some attention on. And the thing about Pallas in Gemini, this could be about the way this may manifest. This could be where one may focus on many different concepts and being able to understand and concepts very quickly, and really there may be and also it might be one where one may focus on a lot of different concepts, but may maybe learn them very quickly, but superficially as well. It may be something where people that have Pallas and Gemini may not necessarily want to delve into things that are going to be overly time consuming, or having to go too deep, because this could be really a lot of restlessness with the intellect with this placement. Now, of course, of course, you got to look for modifying indicators in a chart, contra indicators. If somebody, say, has Mercury in Scorpio, or Mercury conjunct their Pluto in their natal chart, this could modify this to some degree as an example, and it might be somebody that might be a little bit more, thinking more profoundly on average and more into deep subjects, as opposed to the average person that would have Pallas in Gemini. Now, this could be a person. I mean, when you're talking about Pallas in a natal chart, Pallas can be connected with as far as depleted or diminished immune system. Now, with somebody with Pallas in Gemini, this could be a person that may have issues with the lungs that may be attributed to a depleted or diminished immune system, or there may be some of you may have heard something called cold hands, which are maybe a connection or correlation with the diminished or depleted immune system, because of course the hands and the lungs can be associated with the zodiac sign Gemini. Now, this could be something too where where this person that has Pallas in Gemini may have manifold artistic endeavors. Pallas could be connected with art, and this could be a person that may be interested in a variety of artistic things that are of an artistic nature. This person may be enamored with like animation on TV. I mean, Gemini energy could be very animated, of course. This could be a person that likes animated cartoons or shows or even comic strips. Um, this could also be, I mean, when you're talking about Pallas in astrology, it can be associated with the tough choices that one may make that are in conjunction with their male connections, and whether it may be a dominant male figure in one's chart, like, or it could be, I mean, if it's like, say, a woman may have, if it's like a romantic connection, it may be somebody that may be a significant other, or in some cases it can just be a dominant male, somebody that plays a male that plays a dominant role in one's life scheme. It could just simply be a somebody that could be a male that you may be involved in a platonic relationship, but just figures prominently in your life scheme. Now, anyway, it can be. Now, as far as the tough choices that may be made in conjunction with male connections in one's life, it can be done, given that we're talking about Pallas in Gemini, done with a lot of quick thinking, a lot of quick-wittedness, and it might be also with a lot of shrewdness, a lot of cunning, and maybe in some cases as well. I would say just by being very shrewd and quick thinking and being quick-witted. Now, Pallas in a natal chart can also be about how one may traverse uncharted territory. Now, it can, some cases, sadly, it might be through some conniving energy, or it might be not conniving. It could be just done with a lot of, really just by being very shrewd, a lot of cunning. It might be some investigative energy. Gemini is a sign that can be very investigative, with a lot of inquisitiveness. It could be by simply asking a lot of questions. Now, where Pallas is in a natal chart, the sign it's in may indicate the way one may attempt to make things transpire. And given that this is Gemini, this may be done perhaps through conniving energy as well. I mean, it can be done through, just by being. It might have something to do with investigative ability, or by asking questions. Really, this is where, I mean, also too, when you're talking about Pallas in Gemini, Pallas in astrology, Pallas is associated with the kidneys. Now, in some cases, this could be where one may have kidney issues that may be attributed perhaps to smoking, as an example, because Gemini is a sign that could be somewhat nervous and anxious, and many people will smoke because of that. And if there's some issues with the kidneys, it can be connected with smoking in some cases. Now, also in a lot, and especially, I mean, if this is say if this is in the first or sixth house, especially as far as a house would go, because the sixth house, of course, is associated with health, physical health in one's natal chart, and the first house is connected with the physical body, of course, and this could be associated with issues connected with the physical body. Now, and if it's making an adverse aspect, say, to the natal sun, ascendant, or Mars even, that could increase the propensity for this. Now, Pallas, let's say that somebody has Pallas making an adverse aspect to their natal Jupiter. Just use this as an example for an aspect with Pallas. This could be a person that may attempt to resolve dilemmas. I put resolve dilemmas in quotes. Through a Gemini-like crime, such as like forgery or thievery or identity impersonation or theft, or just simply trying to outmaneuver the system or the law. Or it could be through some malicious mischief. Gemini energy can be mischievous, and sometimes Gemini just, I think energy can be about just outmaneuvering the system or the law, just as because it may be of a little bit of a challenge to them. But being given that we're talking about Pallas energy, this could also be solving some problem or some dilemma at the same time for somebody with this placement. But this could be very isolated, of course, and even Pallas in adverse aspect to Saturn could be another example, because Saturn, of course, is connected with authority, and Pallas can be about how we may resolve issues, or even Pallas in adverse aspect to one's natal Venus, because this could be increase a propensity for solving some issues by trying in getting money in the process, and by trying to outmaneuver perhaps the system or what have you, or by being through mischievous Gemini energy. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my take on Pallas in Gemini in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking about Pallas in Cancer in a natal chart. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.